Coach Allie here. Welcome to Sunday Recovery. We are going to do a mat Pilates workout, so we are going to stay on the mat the whole time. I'm going to recover in my bedroom and hope that my family members leave me alone for your benefit as well. I'm also diffusing some essential oils for relaxation, lavender, red mandarin, and bergamot, and then I also have a little bit of peppermint in there, so it smells really good in here and just kind of getting the good vibe. I cannot stream the music while we are working out. It makes it hard to hear, and also I don't have the rights to do that, so I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and put on some relaxing music at home for your practice. So the goal today is basically to activate the core, but also to take advantage of the benefits of Pilates related to stretching and flexibility and breathing as more of our focus than like a true workout that we would do earlier in the week. Okay, so let's go ahead and come all the way down onto our backs. And you just want to get into a good position here where your feet are hip distance apart, knees are hip distance apart, and you're in your neutral spine. So if I were to rock back and forth, I would be going past that neutral into extension and flexion. And so your neutral is just kind of halfway in between those two positions. And then I want you to let the belly rise and fall as we practice some diaphragmatic breath. So it looks like this. Inhale through your nose. Blow the air out of your mouth. So the belly should look like a balloon as it rises on the inhale, and then fully blow that air all the way out. But take your time. Try to make the exhale maybe twice as long as the inhale. Feel free to close your eyes here and just try to center in your space. Scanning those shoulders, if they're creeping up by your ears, just start to soften them. See if you've started squeezing the glutes or the hips to just be in this position on the mat. Just continue your breathing. So we're really warming up the diaphragm here, but also sending a signal to the brain that we're going through some calming and stretching. So we do that with breath. That surplus of oxygen that you get during that really deep diaphragmatic breath feeds the body in all sorts of positive ways. It's literally like food for the body that it can use to work on metabolism, repair, flush out those bad hormones and stress, anxiety, the things that are starting to kind of build up each day. So what we're trying to do with that breath is to start to flush that out. And just an analogy is like taking that air in on your inhale and thinking of that as just a fully rejuvenating process. And then on your exhale, just use that to blow out all of the toxins and the negativity, anxiety, and stress. And of course, that's not going to be a perfect thing. You're going to want to practice through that. So let's do 3 more breaths together. Stay with that, 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. And you're just going to gently hug them in and kind of just let that low back stretch as you rock side to side. So again, nothing here should feel forced or uncomfortable. We're just working our way through this gentle warm-up, warming up the diaphragm first and then moving on from there to the core. Good. So go ahead and place those feet back onto the mat, and we're going to start to add a little bit of tension to the belly. So you'd want to go ahead and draw your navel down towards your spine. If this brings the rib cage out at all, you want to go ahead and push your shoulders back and down and flatten that rib cage. So now you should be locked down, flat rib, belly down. pushing towards your spine. And then we're gonna go ahead and get warmed up with the 100. So I'm gonna ask that you lift your feet off of the floor so you can stay here. This is called tabletop. You're gonna lift your head, neck, and shoulders up and just really try to raise your upper body off of the mat. And we're gonna start to pump the arms, inhaling and exhaling. So right here, you wanna try to pull your belly down. Every time you inhale, you wanna resist that urge to let your belly loosen. So you're constantly pulling down. If you wanna make this harder, you can extend the legs up right here. Keep pumping your arms almost like you're splashing water. Little bit of an imaginary peach under your chin. You can make it even harder by turning the toes out and bringing the legs down to about a 45-degree angle. Continue pumping. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Good. Relax back down. So what I feel right there, guys, is I'm immediately warm in my face and my chest, and that's exactly what we're looking for. We're now gonna go into a roll up, roll down. So I'm gonna kind of inch my body about the length of the mat, keeping your feet hip distance apart. Arms are gonna come up here. This is going to be coming up to a seated position. So right here, still try to add tension into the abdominals. Inhale through the nose. Blow the air out. Peel your spine up, sitting up tall with the posture. Just stay here with me for a second, guys, and breathe. So what I want to see is that you've stacked your rib right over the hip and that my head is tall, like I'm pulling the top of my head towards the ceiling. But I can still keep the abdominals tight and breathe. So stay with me here. Practice some of that tight abdominal squeeze and breathe. So also working the posture. My shoulders haven't creeped up to my ears. They're reaching right out from my shoulders. And when I say reach, I mean stretch the fingertips from the shoulders. So let's regroup here with an inhale. And then on the exhale, I want you to pull your belly button towards your spine, round your spine, tuck your chin, and slowly roll your spine back to the mat. Do not flare that rib cage. Inhale here. Exhale. Posture tall. Inhale. And curl. So really make your spine look like a C. Bring your chin to your chest. 1 vertebrae at a time to the mat. Again, that was your exhale. Inhale here. Exhale up. Inhale at the top. And curl it. Really pull, pull, pull. Pull your belly in like you're drawing that to touch the mat. Right back where we started. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Posture tall. Inhale. And exhale. Pull, pull, pull. Round. Make your spine a C. 1 vertebrae at a time. I can't remember if we said 1 more, so let's do 1 more. Inhale. Told you we can't count. Exhale up. Inhale at the top. And draw your body down. So right there, we're really just massaging the spine, warming up the abdominals, knees into the chest. We're gonna do this a lot, a little bit of this break in between, and maybe a little bit of cobra down dog working its way in. Now, we're gonna hit a leg exercise. You still need to stabilize in the core. So I want you to draw your belly down, tuck your rib cage under. I want you to take the right leg and draw it right up towards the ceiling. And you can see I'm pointing my toe. Neutral in the hip. So I'm gonna let my hands come out, palms up, so you're not pushing down on the mat. Start to draw baby circles on the ceiling with your toe. Make sure you do not have tension in your neck here. You want tension in the abdominals, and you want to flex your legs so you can feel those leg muscles doing some work here. And you're just making small circles. Let's go ahead and reverse it. It's not a big movement, but you are stabilizing here. A lot of stabilizing muscles by the rib cage, making sure that you're also breathing, challenging those muscles as well. Now, let's come back, and what I want you to do is to externally rotate your leg, which puts your kneecap towards the side of the room. Make the circles again. Again, only about the size of maybe a softball, a small dinner plate. In Michelle McQueen's case, maybe the size of a donut. I'll see if she paid attention to this video. But let's go ahead and reverse. So just staying in the external rotation. Your hips aren't rocking here either, guys. I'm trying to stay really still throughout the abdominals and the hips, and I'm starting to feel that burn in the thigh. Okay, come back to center. This time turn your kneecap, internally rotate so my kneecap's drawing towards my navel. Not an easy position to be in, but start your circles. So I'm gonna roll through that again. We're going, I don't know, about 10 to 12. So internal rotation is tough. And I know you guys are starting to feel that. And you're thinking, I thought this was recovery. Promise, we're gonna move through this quickly, reverse. This is just one of those exercises that I love in Pilates that kind of like shows you where you might need a little bit of help with mobility or strength. 3, 2, and 1. Here comes your stretch. Take that knee, hug it in towards the chest, and just go ahead and drop it across your body. So, little bit of work in the thigh there. It won't be our last time. I'm gonna hug that knee up towards my chest, kind of moving it around in my crossbody stretch. Okay, so I think you know what we're doing. We have to do the other leg, so make sure you switch. I'm gonna take the left leg, but first, draw belly down, rib cage tuck. That set our stability. And then I'm gonna draw the leg up and point the toe, neutral in the hip, and start your circles. It doesn't matter if you're clockwise or counterclockwise, because we're gonna hit both directions in each position of the hip. So neutral, external rotation, internal. Just go ahead and reverse your direction here. So my leg stays neutral in the hip. Kind of like if you looked down at your feet when you were standing, you should be standing neutral in the hip, at least we hope. Okay, so let's go to external rotation. I'm going to just keep your leg flexed, rotate knee towards the outside of the room, and start your circles. Now, this is very common for people to put tension right here in the neck and the jaw. So try not to do that and try to still the hips. Go ahead and switch your direction. You are still in external rotation. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Internal. So my kneecap's coming towards my belly button. I'm tight and locked in, and I'm going to go 10 in each direction. This is probably the exercise you want me to count, okay? So 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Reverse. 10, 9, breathe. Keep your tension. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knee draws in. Extend the right leg long and just drop that knee across. So I'm looking away from my knee. So right now looking away from the camera. But this allows me to get that really good, nice low body twist and stretch. And then I can even kind of hug that knee up a little bit more as well. Okay. Now, let's use those core muscles and bring ourselves up to a seated position. We are going to go into rolling like a ball. I think I did this before when I filmed Pilates recently. Great stretch for the spine. It massages the spine. It really activates the core, and it qualifies as balance. So we all need to work on that. how do I start? I'm going to come and bring my knees in towards my chest and give them a bit of a hug, okay? Now you wanna have enough mat behind you that you're not gonna like run into your bed, so I double check them. So I'm now up on my sits bones and I'm balancing, tucking my chin. I'm gonna roll back to the shoulder blades here and then come back up and stick it at the top. Notice that I did not touch my feet to the floor. So I'll show you again. I'm gonna roll back, round your spine, and then blow the air out to come back up. So I'm inhaling back, come back up to your seated position. The goal here is that you can maintain your ball position, that you are drawing your belly in, especially as you roll back to prep when you come up. So if you fall out of the ball, it's okay. Catch yourself, come back. Oh, didn't make it there, guys. It is important that you use that exhale. So that's what helps you get out of that position. Again, roll back, exhale out. One more, roll back, and there we are. Come back down onto the mat. I'm following an order today in mat Pilates, which is very traditional. So if you're wondering why we move around a lot, this is actually a traditional order of mat Pilates exercises. Coming up next is the single leg stretch. This is in the abdominal series. So imagine kind of targeting that six-pack area. So let's go ahead and bring our knees in towards our chest, and then I want you to lift your head, neck, and shoulders off of the mat. The left leg extends, the right leg stays here. So I'm gonna take my right hand, right ankle, left hand on my right knee. So I'm basically blocking my knee right there in the hip, and then I'm gonna switch. So the other leg extends, opposite knee draws in. So I keep switching my grip, but my outside hand is always on the ankle. So it's actually not that hard to coordinate if you always think about blocking the knee on the inside and the outside hand on the ankle. So you should be breathing here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Single leg stretch. So pull in and stretch. I'm really reaching that long extended leg away from the body and maintaining that high lift of the head, neck, and shoulders. Let's do two more. And down. So it's pretty common in Pilates to follow the single leg stretch with the double. So this time, both legs are gonna draw in a tuck, and then the arms and legs are gonna move away from the body. So I'm gonna inhale the body open, sweep the arms back around and hug the knees into the chest. So double leg stretch. How do we get there? Really activate, belly down, rib cage tuck. Now I'm ready. I take the knees up. I draw the head, neck, and shoulders up. So I'm in this good tuck position. Now I want you to take off your hat. So you're gonna take the hands by the ears. We're gonna open up long and stretch, and then you're gonna exhale back. So I'm gonna take off my hat, open long, exhale back. Try not to let the head start to sink back down towards the mat like this. We see that a lot. So you wanna try to stay lifted, exhale out. Inhale, open, exhale back. You've got three more. Really try to draw that belly down, especially on your exhale. This is our last one. Inhale, open, stretch, exhale back, rest. Good. So hopefully you guys started to feel that in the abdominals. Now, we're gonna roll up again. So use the abdominals to come up to your seated position. I'm gonna recenter here onto the mat for the spine stretch. So again, really good way to work in some recovery. We wanna be in good postural position here, just like we were when we talked about the roll up, roll down. So my hips are stacked right under my ribs, which are under the shoulders, and I'm drawing the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Now you can go ahead and widen so you are hip distance apart and shoulder distance on the arms, okay? We're gonna inhale, and then I want you to pull your belly back and then start to reach the body forward. So I reach the arms over the legs, but I don't touch the toe. And then I restack, okay? Again, I'm gonna inhale, activate the abdominals, draw the belly in, and then reach forward. So I'm rounding the spine, and then restack. Let's do that again. Inhale. Inhale back to that start position. Inhale. Exhale. I just exhaled, so we're inhaling here, guys. Now try that one more time. Tall. We inhale, tuck your belly in, round your spine, tuck your chin, glide the arms forward to what your flexibility allows, and then working your way back to the stacked position. Good. So from here, we're gonna work into just a little bit of a boat hold. So one of the common exercises in Pilates is called teaser. We're gonna get to that later, but it's pretty challenging. So really just more to practice and have a little fun, but right here we're gonna go into boat instead, which is just a lot easier on the hip flexor. So how I like to encourage people to get into that is hold on to the back of your hamstrings. Now you can see I'm starting to lean back a little bit, but I'm not rounding my spine. So I'm still trying to keep the chest open, shoulders are back, draw the belly in. So all I'm gonna do is just lift the feet off the mat. They are hip distance apart, guys. I could fit like a little baby like softball right in there. So I'm in the boat position and I can feel I'm really having to activate in the navel. I want you guys to hold, okay? So you can make it harder by disconnecting the hands and letting them just float right by the knees, okay? So automatically here, you're in a bit of a V-sit position. Belly is locked in tight. Keep breathing. So this is where that diaphragmatic breath comes in. If you want to make it harder, bring the arms up. Keep breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. So this is all about posture and breath, guys. We're not even really moving, but I'm shaking and I'm sweating. Inhaling and exhaling, bringing it back. Good. Take a little breather here. We're gonna do that one more time because I think it just takes practice. Balance, posture. Most of us need help with our posture, and boat pose will really expose that. So work our way back from the beginning. So about hip distance apart, I'm gonna lean back slightly. I'm drawing the navel in, but I want a very long distance between your hip and your rib, okay? I float the feet up. So right here, I feel pretty stable. And if this is where you wanna practice and work on breath, stay there, okay? Otherwise, disconnect. I've got my arms out here. All of a sudden, my core has to do a lot more stability, and I have to breathe, really breathing with the diaphragm. Maybe you want to come up here, really challenging, all the way from the base of my ribs down to my hip. Belly is tight, breathing in. One more breath. Circle the arms back around. Guys, that was tough, but fun. Well, at least I thought so. Now, bring your back down onto the mat. We're gonna go into the corkscrew. So this has various levels of skill. Let's start with basic, just on the mat. So my arms are gonna come out. If you put your palms down, it gives you a little bit of leverage. If you wanna make it harder, palms up. From here, I'm gonna tuck my belly down. Rib cage is also flat, so it's like I put on a corset. I'm gonna bring the legs up and I'm gonna glue them together, so zip them together. I'm gonna inhale, drop my legs over towards the right, but the left shoulder never leaves the floor. I want you to circle the legs back through as you exhale to the start position. So go the other way. Inhale, exhale, circle around. Okay, opposite direction. We go inhale as we drop the legs, exhale to circle around. Keep alternating your directions. Don't hold your breath. Really draw your belly in, especially as those legs get further away from the body. We need to activate the lower part of your abdominals, so your transverse abdominals really like deep in your guts. So remember to keep alternating. Inhale and then exhale for the circle. Keep in mind we're also stretching the outside of the hip here. Inhale, circle. Keep your shoulder blades on the mat at all times. Don't start to let the shoulder lift off. It means that you're just going beyond your range. I have counted here, and we have one more in each direction. The reason we alternate is so that you don't get momentum and start to look like a helicopter and then kind of lose the whole point of having your core in control, not letting those hips go take you for a ride. Good. So go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. My next exercise is called the saw. So scoot yourself up to the top of your mat and then roll your body up. So I want you to sit tall and bring your feet the width of your mat. So that should be perfectly placed to be wider than your hips, and you have to try to sit tall in that for posture. We're going to bring the arms out into a T, and we're going to start to twist and stretch. So I'm going to turn to the right on the inhale, reach for the baby toe right here on the exhale. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, twist. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, twist. Exhale, reach, like the outside of that toe. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, center. Inhale, twist. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, center. Let's do one more each side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Lift that back arm as much as you can. Inhale, lift. Exhale, center. Finishing on the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So, what you might not have realized we worked there was T-spine rotation. So if you could sit up really tall and twist in there, you're really working the mobility of your mid-back. We are going to go into an exercise called Swan, but we'll go baby swan first, which works extension of the T-spine. So we're focusing on the mid-back, all about posture. If you have a locked T-spine, everything you do is gonna be a mess. This is just such a really important part of the body to mobilize. Okay, baby swan. I'm gonna be looking at the camera on and off. You guys have to look at your mat. Once you get the movement down, of course. So let's practice. I'm gonna take my hands and widen my fingers, and my nose is gonna hover right above that mat. My legs are hip distance apart, and I'm gonna draw my belly up a little bit. So I'm gonna inhale and I'm gonna lift my chest off of the mat, and I basically am just getting to the point where my rib cage is off the mat. That's my inhale, and I'm gonna exhale back down. Notice I maintain neutral spine in my head. So I inhale, lift, exhale, lower. So I'm not letting the shoulders creep to the ears. The shoulder blades are moving towards each other and away. So scapular movement here. I'm extending through the spine, the mid-back, thoracic spine, but I'm not breaking that neutral spine by looking forward, okay? I don't want you guys to do that. You should just find the most interesting spot on your mat and focus on it, or maybe dirt on your floor that you can kind of hone in on there. Okay, so that is called baby swan. So just start to work a little bit of extension, which can be difficult for people if your chest is really tight. So we're gonna go into full swan as an option. So here I really widen my fingertips and I'm gonna squeeze the floor. As I come up, I'm gonna extend my arms, but it's not a cobra, guys. My arms are out a little bit more in front and then I come back down. So really working that extension in the spine. Hips are glued to the floor. So I inhale up. My belly button lifts off the mat, but my hip bones are still on the mat, okay? Very different from a cobra. Again, if this is like too much fire for your back, just go back to the baby swan. We only have 3 more. I'm maintaining my neutral spine, and right here, shoulders don't creep to the ears. Try to resist that urge to shrug your shoulders there up at the top. And I'm serious, this is one of the most important exercises to work towards if you're really tight in your chest or your mid-back. This is just it's such a feel-good exercise, but you sometimes have to work your way up. So I'm inhaling here and exhale back. All right, so we're gonna stay on our belly and we're gonna work the back side and the posterior chain down the back of the legs. So I'm gonna scoot forward a little bit. We're gonna work one leg at a time, and I'm gonna take my hands and kind of make a little spot for my chin, trying to stay in my neutral spine. So what I want you to do here is you're gonna take the right leg and you're gonna pulse it 2 times like a kick. So 1, 2, and then place it back down. But when you extend it, stretch that baby long, okay? Other leg. So I go left, 2 kicks, extend and straighten. My right leg, 2 kicks, extend. Now keep alternating your double kick on one leg at a time. And keep in mind, you're supposed to still pull your belly away from the mat and breathe. So this is not a time to kind of like lose focus on your core. It's not just like working the hamstring or that's it. I'm really wanting you to still work the belly on breath and activation. So I'm going back to the left leg. Good. Inhaling and exhaling. Stretch your legs. So we're trying to gain some length in the muscle throughout this recovery. All right, so I'm gonna finish my left. I'm gonna add 1 more on each side for good measure. So right leg here comes the left, good. So now we're gonna zip the legs together and we're gonna double leg, but you're gonna have a couple options here. This time the hands are gonna come onto my low back. So the legs zip together, belly is tucked in tight. So I'm going to double kick, and then you can lift the thighs and push the fingers back, okay, from the hips and come back down. So double kick, lift, ease your way back down. Double kick and lift. Thighs and chest still staying in your neutral spine. Find your way back down. Double kick, lift. Finding your way back down. Double kick, lift. So I'm gonna just keep the arms here. There are ways to make the arms a little bit harder. I think we'll just stay here for this exercise. 2 more. Double kick and lift. Open up your chest here, collarbone is wide. You're really trying to squeeze your fingertips away from the shoulder. So stretch and done. Let's go into a downward dog. So I'm gonna kind of work my way back up to this quadruped position, but in Pilates, we also call this tabletop. I'm gonna tip my toes under and get my first down dog of this recovery. So it just made sense to me to do it here, guys, after we were in some extension of the low back. I don't always encourage clients to just immediately sit back in a child's pose after you've worked in extension, because it could just be overstretching your weaker muscles in flexion after you do extension. So I'm shifting side to side, walking the dog, opening the shoulder. Now float the knees down, sit back child's pose. So we're not going to stay there long. I let the head rest down. I'm going to lift it back up, cobra, little bit of that open chest position, down dog. Okay, back into my down dog. Just feels really good. Try to get your heels to push towards the floor. I might start to walk them in a little bit further, using your breath. And I'm really still pulling my belly away from, well, towards my spine, okay? So I'm not losing that. Coming back down to child's pose. The feel-good portion of that flow. I can feel my lats stretching here as I've been working some pull-ups this week. Okay. I hope we are ready to move on. So the next exercise is called the neck pull, which is really silly because never in Pilates would we encourage someone to pull on their neck. But in Pilates, the word pull means length. So anytime you see an exercise, which we'll come to later, and it says the word pull, it doesn't mean pull, it means lengthen, okay? They couldn't just use the word lengthen, apparently. So the neck pull is hard because you're not gonna have the assistance of your arms to get your body off the mat. So if this is too hard, go back to the roll up, roll down, which we did earlier. So in the neck pull, I'm gonna be on my back. I encourage you all to try it, okay? My belly has got to stay activated and locked in. I'm gonna take my fingertips behind my head, elbows are wide. You want to come up on the exhale. So inhale here, and then on the exhale, you're gonna draw up and over. So I'm gonna bring my elbows towards my knees on that exhale. I inhale to my good posture, and then I'm gonna C-curve, round my spine back down. Elbows can draw in, and then boom, we're right back where we started. Do not flare your ribs. So it shouldn't look like that, okay? You've got to keep it locked down. Now, we're gonna do several in a row. Use the breath. Inhale, exhale. Up, reach and long, rounding forward. Inhale, tall posture. Exhale, round. C-curve, tuck your chin, draw your belly in, blow the air all the way out. Boom, back down, rib cage is flat. Inhale. Exhale. You gotta glue those legs to the floor, okay? They want to lift up to kind of assist you. It's okay if they start to kind of rock a little bit off the mat. You're just fighting for a little bit of control here. Go again. Inhale, keep your rib cage flat. Exhale. Power up, reach, and stretch over. Inhale, up tall. Exhale, C-curve. So I really draw my belly in. Tight, 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 tight. One vertebrae at a time. We've got two more. Power up through center. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, lengthen. Pull, pull, pull that neck tall. Remember, it's called the neck pull because at the top of that seated position, you want to be tall. Inhale, exhale up. So reach up through, pull in your navel. This is where you pull the neck long. Long in the posture, and then exhale, rounding your spine back down. Okay? So the neck pull. So hopefully you guys were able to work a little bit of posture there. Next up is the double straight leg stretch. 2 legs and they're straight, okay? If you have tight hamstrings, you're going to want to bend your knee, and I don't want you to do that. So just try to keep the leg in the range you have where your legs are straight, okay? First, belly down, rib cage tucked. Take the hands behind your head. Don't clasp the fingers together. You're going to draw the head, neck, and shoulders up off of the mat. Zip the legs together right here. So I'm going to inhale, lower, exhale, draw back. That's it, okay? Inhale, lower, exhale, draw back. Keep your head, neck, and shoulders lifted. Use the breath. Yes, you're going to feel that really deep in the lower part of your abdominals. That TBA engaging the pelvic floor will help. And then exhale. Shh. 4 more. Inhale. It's called the stretch because you want to start to really make your legs long. So my legs are reaching. I exhale. Lower down here. Last one, long. Bring them in. Okay, we're gonna go to the single straight leg stretch. So 1 leg at a time, really taking a chance to stretch your hamstring more so than I'm focused on the core, okay? So for this, you're going to extend your right leg, lock the abdominals down, left leg is here. Again, if your leg cannot be straight here, stop here. If I look like this here, I'm not in a straight leg anything. But if I can straighten my leg here, then I just don't pull it in so far, okay? So we're going to reach up either at the hamstring or the calf. Lift the other leg off of the mat, and then you're gonna kick. So I'm just alternating sides. Right leg comes in, left leg comes in. My belly is tight here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So it would look like this if your range was a little bit different because you had tight hamstrings, okay? But you're still working the core here for that stability in between. 4 and 3 and 2. Don't forget to breathe. We've got 1 more on each side. Done. Go ahead and stretch the low back. Draw the knees in. Rock side to side. Okay. So we have 1 more exercise in the abdominal series. At remove, we call this a crossover. But in Pilates, mat practice, it's called a bicycle, okay? So you kind of know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be twisting, head, neck, and shoulders are going to lift off. The main thing, guys, is when we did that straight leg stretch, we just kept the legs right there in the hip. So we had used our hands to do that. In the bicycle, the legs are the same. There's no twisting of the hips, okay? The twisting is from the navel to the rib. So you gotta lock those hips down, okay? Draw the head, neck, and shoulder up. Pull your belly in. Now, right here, without twisting, just work the legs again. So it's boom, long. I'm stretching, and then add the twist. So it's not a big range of motion. My shoulder blades are off of the mat. You can still breathe with your diaphragm. Elbows are wide. I don't have to pull on my neck. It's just a light grip. Obliques should be burning. Okay, let's go. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, so that was the bicycle. Now, we're gonna transition right into our shoulder bridge. So basically starting up into a glute bridge. Let's make sure I'm in my camera view here. Peel your tailbone off the mat and bring yourself up into your bridge. So it's called shoulder bridge in Pilates, obviously, because you have that base of the shoulders on the mat and you still want to pull your belly in tight. So what I want you to do is to start to take one leg off. So I'm just going to lift up the left leg and I'm going to keep it up top. So we're going to go for some kicks. I'm going to lower and lift. So important here that your hips do not drop. So it would look like this. So I would kind of like start to lose my height. So you want to keep that. So you're really pushing through your glute of that stabilizing side. I think we got 4 more. 4. Point your toe. 3. And 2. And 1. Try not to come down in between. Just place that foot back down. Belly is still tight. Draw the leg up. Posture, point your toe, and kick. 8. 7. Don't hold your breath. 6. Control through the hip. 4 more. 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Good. So going back to your bridge, you're up and we're going to lift and lower. So 8, tap and squeeze up. Try to keep your belly tight here. I can't tell you how many times I see people focusing on their glutes in the glute bridge, but their bellies are very loose, okay? This is a core exercise. Glutes are included in core. You want to have your control and your power coming here. So I can even kind of get my fingertips there and squeeze. I already lost count. Let's do 3. So squeeze, 2 to go, squeeze, last one. Wait, no, this is the last one. Guys, it's harder than it looks, okay? Bring the knees in. Good little rest here. So, rock side to side. Probably getting warm, sweaty here. All good things though. Still, we're not jumping around. We're still staying on our mat for the entire class today. So, who knew all this that you could do just with your mat? Go ahead and roll yourself up. Okay, so this is called the spine twist, and different than the saw because my legs are gonna stay together. Different than the spine stretch because I'm going to twist. So I'm going to take my arms out. I'm going to stay tall, very long from hip to rib. I'm going to turn to the side for 2 pulses, come back to center, other side, turn and pulse, and back. So keep your breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Draw that belly in, guys. We're working the twist. I feel this in my mid-back, like a little bit of muscle activation, maybe a little bit of a stretch. My hips are definitely feeling it to try to maintain postural position. Good. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. So let's go directly into a leg pull. So we can both do this from a prone or supine position. So we're going to start here where our back faces the mat. So that is called supine. I want you to go ahead and lift up. So I'm pushing through the heels. And then I tuck the chin slightly to kind of avoid dropping that head back. And we're gonna lift up opposite leg. So one leg pull. It's all about length here, guys. So you're not holding your breath. I'm lifting and lowering. One leg lifts. The belly has got to stay tight. You're not holding your breath. You're not putting tension in the neck or the jaw. We've got 4 more total. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Bring it on down. Go ahead and stretch yourself forward. A little bit of rocking side to side. So that was actually called the reverse leg pull, really because we had our spine facing the mat. But we can also do a leg pull in FLR position. So we're gonna bring our body up, and you can modify on the knees here, but we won't be here long. So I wanna encourage you to kind of try to come off the knees. So there I am in my postural position. Neutral spine, shoulders back and down, belly tight, and I'm going to extend one leg. Let me walk a little forward here so you can see that, okay? I'm just gonna lift, squeeze my glute, and it's a pull, guys. Remember we talked about a pull? What does that mean? It means length. So I'm pulling my toes away from the hip. Probably should have worn a hair tie here today. So pull, good. So try to maintain that neutral spine. You have 4 more total. I'm engaging the glute, activating the hamstring, but I can also have to stabilize with the upper body in the shoulders and of course the core. Good. Bring it on down, child's pose. Beautiful. We're gonna work our way towards a warm down. I do wanna get in an exercise called swimming. So again, going back into extension for the posterior chain, your back, your legs, your shoulders, all activated here. Somehow I've shifted myself. Okay. Looking down at the mat, I'm gonna extend my arms. We're gonna pump opposite arm and leg. Very important that you draw your belly in. So as I lift up here and I start to pump my arms and legs, I don't want to lose the contraction of the abdominals. So pull your belly towards your spine. This time it's away from the mat. Still trying to breathe with your diaphragm. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Good. Do it again. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. One more. And down. Downward dog. So I'm gonna tip my toes under, lift up my hips, position those feet where it feels good. Just gently rocking side to side. Let that heart rate come down a little bit. Good. Floating back down into your child's pose. Just rest here for a second, guys. I'm gonna widen the knees a little bit so that I can really let my belly expand on the inhales and the exhales. One more breath. Really use that diaphragm. Good. Lifting back up into your quadruped position. We're going to go in for some cat-cow. So this time you're going to start with that flat back. And I'm going to inhale, tip my tailbone up, look up slightly. Exhale, chin tuck, spine goes into flexion. Reverse. Inhale, this is your cow. And then we go back into cat on the exhale. Pull my shoulder blades apart. Feels so good. Inhale back through center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so from this position, let's just do a little bit of active shoulder stretching. I'm going to thread the arm under. The shoulder's going to tap. I'm going to lift it back up and do the other side. So bringing that through, getting some T-spine rotation here. Obviously more successful if you're all warmed up, which you should be after that set. Come back for center. Hit one more on the other side. Good. Now, flip it on around. Roll your spine down onto the mat. We want to do a little bit of a figure 4 stretch. Stretch the hips and the glutes. So in this position, bringing opposite ankle above the knee. Again, you want to thread either through to the hamstring, which is good, right? I can keep my shoulders on the floor, kind of clear that tension in your neck. I mean, sometimes we don't even realize it's there. I like a little bit more on this stretch, so I like to hold at the shin. And this is my more flexible side, so I can kind of mess with it a little bit when I'm in it, but just importantly keeping your head on the mat, your shoulder blades rolled down, so you don't want to lift your head, neck, and shoulders here. Just feel that stretch. Glute, piriformis, external rotators of the hip. Okay, good. And then I'm going to release my hands. Foot's going to come down onto the mat. And then I'm going to really open up that opposite arm. So I love this stretch because it really helps to open up the rotators and twisters of the hips and through the core. And we could really add to that with a little bit of inhale, exhale. So every time you inhale, you should feel a little bit more of that stretch on the top of the hip, kind of right by your hip bone and behind there. It just feels so good. Let's go figure 4 on the other side. Almost done here, guys. So threading through wherever feels comfortable. Again, this is my tighter side, so it immediately feels like a little bit more uncomfortable, but in a good way. Like, yeah, I needed that to kind of go about my day. And also, I just want to recommend that when we're done with our final stretches here, that you remain in your quiet space for just a couple of minutes, work some diaphragmatic breath, meditation, prayer. You just don't need that much time to reap huge reward in your body for detoxifying and calming the nervous system, aiding in sleep, aiding in digestion. Let's rotate here. There's just so many benefits to just taking a couple of minutes to slow down and just stay present and focusing on your breath. There's a saying that breath is very grounding. You can't get a past breath back, and you can't get a future breath now. So it allows you, that breath allows you to stay just in this moment. And even that mindfulness of being present, it can do wonders for taking your mind off of things that cause stress and anxiety. And it can also help repair the body. If you're sore, or you didn't sleep right, or a little bit of a headache, all of those things can be assisted with some good meditation, mindfulness. Bring the knees in. So hopefully we've warmed down a bit. I can already feel my body temperature kind of coming back down. And then what I'm going to encourage you guys to do is to extend your legs. And then practice a little bit of Shavasana. Again, if you've got your music going, keep that rolling when the video stops. Just let the hips be open and just no tension. So start scanning tension in the forehead, the jaw, the neck, the chest, the arms, the belly, glutes, legs, calves, and ankles. And so start to scan that as you lie here on the mat, only focusing on breath and tension, and just releasing the tension as you go. And just take a couple of minutes for you. I'm just hopeful that you can see what a difference it makes in both making you feel relaxed, but also alert and ready to move on with the rest of the day. So I hope that you've enjoyed the recovery class. I know I have, and I miss you guys and look forward to having you back in the gym soon. Okay? Thanks, guys.